Whoever got.
This is 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 19. While they promise them liberty, they themselves are the servants of corruption. For of whom a man is overcome, of the same is he brought in bondage. Verse 20. For if after they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, they are again entangled therein and overcome.
They go back into the world. Go ahead.
The latter end is worse with them than the beginning.
Well, stop right there. Like Yashawan. Yashawan looked like Yakalba, man.
Yakalba looked better than
when Yakalba was way up in age in his 70s, man, Yashawan looked like he's in his 70s, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this dude looked drawn in, man.
Yep.
And Lahab, going back 10, 11, 12 years ago, man, he looked like a fucking mummy, man.
Yep.
I mean, this dude looked frail, man. I remember Lahab was big and sturdy, man.
Yep.
Big bone. That dude looked frail, man.
Sucked in,
man, like the spirit was out of him, man. And there's a reason why when he put them little few videos up there, man, with the palm trees, he didn't show his face. Because you didn't want to look at his face, man.
Yep.
You wouldn't want, what the fuck is this? Go to the next video, man.
And Elder Todd said he had the Tahitian sunset. That's really what it was, you know. Hawaiian punch.
And then all of a sudden,
sunset.
Now he was General Lahab. Now he's Brother Lahab.
Brother Lahab.
It changes.
Go ahead.
Good. For it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness than after they have known it to turn from the holy commandment delivered unto them.
Yeah, that's how serious this thing is. It's best that you never knew the truth. Yeah, to know the truth and not do anything about it. That's how serious. You see how serious it is. Go ahead.
Verse 22. But it has happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is returned to his own vomit again, and the soul that was washed to her wallowing in the mire.
Yeah, so there the Lord insulted them, called them dogs and pigs.
She had a question. I know she was holding on. What's your question, sister?
My question is, why is it that, like, in this state, there are so many black people on the street are homeless and begging for food? That's my question. What does it's like, you know?
Well, that's the poor. That goes to the poor. That's all that is. That goes to the poor.
Is it part of the curse that
of course it's part of the curses. Of course. Absolutely. That's part of the curses, man. You know?
Right.
But the elect is not going to be in that condition.
That's right.
They're not going to be in that condition. Give me that in, what's that, Proverbs 36, if I'm not mistaken. Listen to this good, all right? Because you got some of our people that are impoverished, meaning they living in the subway system, man. They living under a bridge or something like that, you know?
Yeah, it's also a testament that the so-called white man's a devil. Because if the white man's righteous, he would, if he was righteous, he would see that there's no homeless people. He would take care of people.
Yeah, but Mayor Bloomberg has so much money, he could have done something.
Yeah, but Bloomberg, he's the devil. He's the devil. He don't care. He don't care about Jake.
That's right.
He don't care about Jake. And you know what? He's not supposed to care about him because he's the devil. He's doing his job.
Yeah, he's being the devil.
If he helped Jake, he wouldn't be doing his job. He wouldn't be the devil.
He wouldn't be the devil.
And the Most High destroy him for not being the devil.
And even when we ruled, we had something called gleaning trees. It was kind of like a welfare system for Israel. In other words, when you pick the fruit off the tree.
Leviticus 19:9. And when you reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleanings of thy harvest.
You know why? The gleanings was the fruit left over,
which was about 10%.
Right.
If you had all these grapes, you might have had 100 acres of grapes. You can take 90% of your own grapes, and you had to leave 10% for the poor. Now the poor can take it and sell it to somebody, or do whatever and he can become rich off of that 10%. You know?
So the people were taken care of. They would walk by, oh good, some grapes, I'm starving. Pick them grapes, nobody fire a shotgun after them. Now, in this society, they do that. Why? Because the fucking white man's the devil, all right? That's
See, the
why.
damn white man, he'll say he's a Christian, but he'll do it. A white man will be a farmer. He says he's a born-again Christian, having sex with the cows, or having sex with little boys. Sheep.
And all
This
that.
man's truly the devil, man.
He's the devil. Okay,
It says-
finish and then bring out one.
It says, and thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither
Did you,
shall...
sister, did you understand that? Thou shalt not glean thy vineyard.
That's not,
You know
You
what
gotta
the
always
gleaning
leave some left.
yeah.
Right,
And the exact number is 10%.
right.
How would,
Right.
how would you know you have 10%? How would you know?
You would
for-
estimate. You would estimate. You know, if you had something, like you had this right here, right? 10% of this would be maybe about right here, a little corner. You know? You would know. It might be 93%, but there was enough where the poor can eat. They won't starve. Nobody starved in Israel.
Right.
And then in the law, it goes in the law where you became if you became a servant under another Hebrew Israelite, you worked for him for 7 years. And then once you worked for him for 7 years, he was supposed to give you enough riches where you were rich yourself.
Severance pay.
Right, that's severance pay. You know? So once you did your 7 years, you can get your own servants among Israel.
Right.
And then in that 7 years, he built up your business. Then you give him enough to start him off.
Right.
So any young boy that was 12 years old that left his parents' house and went with another Israelite that was rich, from 12 years old to 19, he was a rich man. All he had to do was give 7 years.
He's set for life.
He's set for life.
Now, in this society, they have you work for another person till you're old. Then they give you a gold watch. And then
fake gold watch.
After a couple of years, the gold starts peeling. That's what they did to my father. My father, man, he worked 5 years for this bank. I think in 5 years, he probably missed 2 days, if that. I mean, that's just a working fool, man, my father, you know? And when he left and went back to the islands, they gave him a party and a gold watch. A party and a gold, and then later we saw the gold started peeling. If that was gold, which it wasn't, it started peeling off the watch. You know? Because it was gold.
Proverbs 12:10. A righteous man regardeth the life of his beast, but the tender mercies of the wicked are cruel.
Yeah, the wicked is in power. White man. Go ahead.
It's back in Leviticus 19:10. Neither shalt thou gather every grape of the vineyard. It says, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor
See?
and strangers.
So wait a minute, Bloomberg has all that money. Why isn't he really taking care of the poor? Because he's the devil. He's not going to take care of the poor. He doesn't give a shit about the poor. And with all that money Bloomberg has, guess what? He wants to make more money. His motivation is more money.
But he's not going to be able to take it with him when he dies.
He doesn't, but he's the devil. He doesn't care about it. He doesn't think about that. His every thought is, I got to make more money. He's like that rich man that Yahushua spoke about in the parable. Yeah, tore down. Yeah. Because that's appropriate.
Luke 16.
That's appropriate.
Well, that represents Bloomberg. That mainly represents the Rothschilds,
Right.
the super rich. Because Bloomberg, he's a little guy coming up. He's a new guy. He's a new guy in town coming up, man.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
Hey, you know what proves that he's a new guy in town? That's new money. If you go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which we got to go back there, how we used to go. If you go up in there, there's called we call it the Hall of Benefactors, right?
Right.
When you go up in there, now they'll tell you suggested retail or suggested admission $15, $20. We used to take out some pocket change. There'd be like 10 of us. Go about 80 cents, and they got to give you 10 tickets.
Yeah.
Because they can't make you pay that price. If you only got a penny, they got to let you in. You know? Anyway, when you go up in there, you go up them stairs, there's names etched in the walls of these different people that gave money to keep the museum going. And if you know those old rich names, you would see the Kennedys up there. You would see the Schiffs up there. You would see the Rockefellers up there. You would see the Vanderbilts up there. The DuPonts, the Gettys.
Yep.
All those different names, man.
That's right, brother.
All of those, that's old money, right? Now, if you walk up the stairs, there's other names that they etch up in there, way up on the top of the stairs, which they might have put in there maybe 1998. Bloomberg is way up on the top.
Oh yeah.
Because he came into his money, and then he said, okay, let me give the museum some money. So they etch your name on there, man. So that shows you that he's new. So the money that he got, if he's worth $25 billion, that's nothing. The Rothschilds are worth trillions. Trillions, all right?
He probably wants to be like a Rothschild.
He got a long way to go.
Yeah.
He's a little guy. Warren Buffett got more money than Bloomberg, and Warren Buffett is a little guy, man. He's a little guy. He's nobody. He just popped on the scene. See, the richest American so-called family in America is the Rockefellers. All right?
Which we had, we got some information. The Rockefellers are just American counterparts of the Rothschilds. They're really
Which
Rothschilds.
they're the Rothschilds, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
They just changed their name. Because a lot of them so-called Jews, when they came over to America from Russia, from Poland, a lot of them changed their names. You know?
Yeah, what? I didn't heard you there. What?
What's that?
I didn't heard you there. What?
A lot of them so-called Jews that came...
About the Rothschild, they changed it.
Well, their real name is the Bowers,
Bowers, yeah.
which means peasant. And when he opened up that money changing place, which money changing house, which is a bank, he changed his name to the Rothschild after that sign he had up.
Red shield.
He had this red shield, and then in German, the term red shield is Rothschild, which means red child. So who are the red children? Edomites. So in a roundabout way, whether he knows it or not, I mean he knows it now, but whether he knew it back then, that was Esau right there. See, the head Rothschild is probably Evelyn Rothschild. He's probably Esau himself, man.
Esau himself, yeah.
You know?
Coming back.
Right, and was it Maya Amschel Bauer, or was it Moses was the patriarch? Moses Bauer?
But they come back. So
and then he had five sons.
That might be Evelyn coming back as a patriarch, or it might be David Rothschild coming back.
It was Moses, then he had 5 sons.
Yep.
And then when you read Esau had 5 sons. You had Esau, then you had his 5 sons, and then you had the 12 dukes of Edom that came out with 5 sons.
That's right.
Which would have to be those...
And then the rich man in Lazarus, he had 5 brothers. He had 5 brothers.
Esau had 5 sons. He didn't have 12. Ishmael had 12. Jacob had 12. Ishmael had 12, but Esau had 5. And Moses Bauer had 5 sons that he trained up in finance.
There's a movie on YouTube about it. They break the whole thing down, you know?
House of Rothschild.
House of Rothschild.
I think I gave it to you.
When you watch it, you got to watch it quick because they take that thing down, man.
Well, I got
and somebody
it.
puts
you
it.
Don't have it, I'll get it.
I got it. You got to give me another copy. I got it.
Another copy.
Yeah, but it's on one of the YouTube channels.
The 5 sons of
They took over the whole world.
They took over the whole world.
They got the father's riches. Yep.
Germany, each one of them set up banks in each one of those European countries and took them over through the finance because their father trained them in money.
Yeah, England was the head one. That was Nathan Rothschild. That was the head. That's where all the decision came out of England, right? Then you had Germany. You had one son went to Germany. You had another son went to France. You had another one went to the 2 more.
Did he go to Italy? Did one go to Italy? Or was it one of the other countries?
I forget.
I kind of forget.
The main ones was France, England, and Germany. All right? So, and what they did was they went out there to establish banking houses. What's a banking house? They lend you money to get interest.
Right.
But they had so much money that they lent their money to big governments.
Yeah, like the Federal Reserve.
They centralized everything.
Central bank.
That's right. They made a central bank. That whole concept of the central bank goes back to the Rothschilds. All right? Anytime they went into a government, they set up a central bank. And then in so many years, maybe 100 years after that, the country went to nothing, man.
Yeah, like America. It was 100 years ago. Oh, wait a minute. We're in 2013. It was 100 years ago they set up the central.
Actually, right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right, brother. You're right, brother. 1913.
So America's about due to go.
America's about due to go down. Now, let me say this.
100 years.
The Federal Reserve Act, the Federal Reserve has a charter.